Greetings and welcome to episode 361 of Geeks in Space. I am your host, Rob Commander Taco Malda, and today I have a trio. Well, I have a pair of guests, a trio of hosts. I don't know how we say that.
A triumphant.
Ooh, I like the triumvirate.
Yeah. Yes, the Masons and the Illuminati have come together at once with the Dutch East Indies Company to bring you Geeks in Space.
Whoa. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, folks, did either of you guys bother to see Spider-Man in our intervening times?
I haven't had a chance.
There's a whole bunch of shame. I've seen it twice.
Really? Isn't that good?
My wife hadn't seen it, so it was worth justifying to go see it again. And I went and saw it on the IMAX, which is always better to see it on the IMAX when you have the opportunity.
You can see every pore of his spinnerets.
No, actually, because all those modern IMAXs are digital now, so it's more like seeing pixels.
Does the IMAX
barn door effect? You know? And,
yeah.
Does the IMAX make Mysterio a better villain?
I thought Mysterio was an excellent villain for what he was, but I don't want to spoil anything, so let's not do that.
His reputation in the comic books is like kind of like Mysterio lame-o, you know?
And that's why how they handled it in the movie was excellent. So I put up one. I don't know if you guys saw The Slow Death of Hollywood. I put that on Taco Zone. It's actually really interesting because he compares sort of the modern Hollywood industry to the 80s Hollywood industry. And he's using Back to the Future kind of as his baseline. Back to the Future was this movie that had a small audience, but grew, and then it grew in its total theater count. And it its revenue sort of came in over months and months and months, which is way different than the modern movie system, where basically if you don't make $1.8 billion in your first weekend, then you're a bomb. But he compares that to Netflix and how we basically reconsolidated it into a new studio system. It's worth a read.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool to see all the numbers exactly, and his points about how that stifles art and creativity. But I thought it was weird that he just started basically, like you said, with Back to the Future instead of acknowledging like that old Hollywood system, you know, where you signed on to a movie studio and then you just did movies they gave you.
Yeah. The rebuilding of the studio system.
Right. So there's just, I thought he was missing one step in sort of the transition and of how the movie studio system used to work.
Yeah, he starts basically in the 60s with the collapse.
Right.
No, it's that one's really worth a read. The other thing is, I've been reading a lot of articles about this lately, how the modern TV production thing, like the other thing that he said was that Netflix is now straight up canceling shows after their second season because they know that you're not going to get new subscribers to Netflix on season 3.
So was that based on any inside information from Netflix, or, because the reasoning given was that it doesn't lead to new subscribers or but it just stopped there. Does it not lead to subscriber retention? Is this a side effect of them dumping all the episodes at once so people splurge and binge and then they purge and they're like, okay, I don't need to spend $20 a month or whatever,
I mean, people would say that about HBO too, right? And I haven't.
Well, you mean HBO 2, Go, Now, or Prime, or Ultra, or which HBO are you talking about?
Oh, it's such a complex platform. I'm sure that there are a number of executives at HBO that think that what they're doing is really clever, and all they're doing is just looking like idiots.
They're like, let's launch HBO Plus. Let's launch,
I'm sure all the executives think they're very clever.
Yes, they do. When they have to justify, their 8-figure salaries.
Right.
No, that was a good article. It's worth reading. The other one that I had before we go into the onslaught of NASA news, did you see the zip bomb story?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
I love those. I remember
they did a really great job with that one. I'm having a guess. Go away. Close the door. Go away. So, they have a 46 meg zip file that explodes to 4.5 petabytes, which apparently you do by munching the CRC codes and overlapping the files in the .zip file.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. Well, so there was a thing back in, I don't know, 2008 or 9 where zlib, the library that we all use, it had a security flaw, and then we had the zlib, zip bomb type files, and we're like, what are people doing? It's like, we weren't crawling those kinds of files anyways. We had limits on what they would create, but it was really weird.
I don't know. I enjoyed that one. The other thing and there was a link in there that I haven't followed up on, and I didn't know about this. I guess the PK from PK Zip, Phil Katz, is dead.
He died like 2 or 3 years ago?
Like a while ago. So I haven't followed up on that link yet. I wasn't sure if either of you guys had read about that. But
he died in 2000, dude.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, he was he alcohol-related pancreatic
that's
blah, 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 bleeding. Yeah.
I should actually Google up on that and find some stories, because I don't know what the rivalries are between the ARC format and the Zip format and the ARG format. And I imagine that there is epic drama attached to this tale, like all things.
Yeah. On April 14th, 2000, at the age of 37, Katz was found dead in a hotel room with an empty bottle of peppermint schnapps in his hand. A coroner report stated his death was a result of acute pancreatic bleeding caused by chronic alcoholism. He also said that his body was minty fresh. No, that's
right.
All right,
they're gonna use them to make screwdrivers. That's terrible.
Yeah. He's a smart guy, I've seen a couple of what I consider to be world-class developers taken down by a drink, but yeah, it's a real shame.
Addiction is a common thing amongst the engineering types, right? They tend to be mathematical, they tend to be analytical. Those things tend to parallel with social anxiety type issues. Alcohol likes to help with those things. We all know folks who've succumbed to addiction.
Indeed, we have.
Not necessarily alcohol.
And to take us in a different direction around addiction, we didn't talk about the Switch Lite, because that came out.
No, that was like right after we hit record.
Yeah, and I would love to talk about this. So I've been thinking about getting a Switch because my son's like a Mario Maker guy. And, and he's been like bugging me like since I dropped him off at camp. When news of Mario Maker 2 came out, he's like, "Where's my Mario Maker 2, father?" Yeah, that's the one. And so I've been thinking about getting one, right? But then they came out with this smaller, cheaper, better battery life Switch, and I'm like, that sounds kind of great,
But no TV connection at all.
Right.
But that might be fine depending on your use case.
Yeah, but it's like a $50 difference or something, or a $100 difference, right?
It seems like, the Switch plugs into a cradle. It seems like can't be that much, cost to make whatever dock they're using for their cradle.
Does it come with the cradle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So the Lite has a slightly smaller screen, slightly longer battery life, and it's $50 cheaper. If you didn't have a single Switch, I almost feel like you'd want your first one to be the one that you can plug into your TV. But I say that as a man whose children were literally fighting over who gets the Switch controller, like 30 seconds before we started recording this chat.
So do you have 2 Switches?
I have one Switch that they have to battle over.
Right.
I feel that the stronger child will eventually come through.
Is it plugged into a television at any point?
It has to by law in my home, because my children have proven unreliable when it comes to sharing things.
So you're the Bowser of the household.
I am absolutely the Bowser, or the Princess Peach.
Yeah. We're open to all kinds.
More Bowser, probably.
I'm going to Bowser, but okay, yeah. Or Wario,
I'm gonna win. To be fair, Kurt the Pope was always Wario.
Yeah.
No, I will absolutely buy a Lite at some point. I think, but I think I might buy it for me. I like to have my own Switch again because I got to play through like the first quarter of Breath of the Wild and like Mario, whatever the Mario was, the 3D Mario for the Switch, and then my kids stole the Switch from me, and I have basically been unable to touch it since then. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but children have sticky fingers, and so every electronic thing that they touch is sticky, and so I no longer can have access to it.
Seriously, like all these IP68, sealed and 67 sealed phones are the best things ever. Like you can literally hold them under the water and clean them off. And I mean, my kids are a little past the sticky phase, but they're now smelly teenagers.
Yeah, my kids are never going to outgrow the sticky phase, and I don't have a remote control in my house that I can touch. Mm-hmm. I used to use the apps on my phone to control my TV.
Well, latex gloves aren't that expensive.
Yeah, you can buy boxes of them for like $4.
For them or for me?
Well,
why not everyone?
Yeah, that's true. I like
just
that
coat
idea.
the entire house in latex, and you can even use it to hold the cable above your head up and out of the way. The cable.
You're
cable.
Not cable again. Bates isn't on the line to freak out about my perfectly fine rear channel speaker cables.
Is that your rear channel?
Yeah, those are the rear channels.
Did you balance, for Atmos this
hangout? I don't have Atmos. I only have the 2 rear channels. Although my app has Atmos, I only have the 2 rears.
So is it 3.1 or 5.1 or?
Mine is technically. I have 3 in the front and 2 in the back, but I got no sub in this room.
Okay.
I want a sub.
5. Yeah.
I actually spent a fair bit of time yesterday reading about SVS subs.
Yeah.
They make good subs, and I would like to have one, but I would also like to have $1,000. So that's a tough call.
You can get them for $600 and $2,500.
Yeah, there's a bit of a range.
I think this is the perfect opportunity for a sponsorship, maybe.
Right.
Right. Yeah, with our 100 subscribers, we're influencers.
We're
actually, I'm sorry, 40 subscribers.
Oh, we have 40 now? Nice.
Yeah, I thought we were at like 40. Let's see.
There's like 100 on Taco Zone, man. So we're set.
There's
growing every day.
Yeah.
There has been a story going along lately.
I think
about
7 of them are us.
Instagram, how Instagram influencers are actually not doing crap. Like the percentage of engagement on Instagram has fallen through the floor. I find that to be absolutely hysterical. So at this rate, we're going to be just as effective as Instagram influencers.
Well, they're pretty good at getting people to go to a remote island for a music festival and then almost die of dehydration. So
yeah. Also, they're really good at getting gamers to buy bottles of bathwater.
Oh, is that like a gross girl?
There's like a gross girl.
Like they're selling underpants or whatever.
Oh. Yeah, $30 a bottle.
Wow.
It's so
I had never heard of this. Do you know how strange that is that I haven't heard of something terrible from the internet?
Dude, it's everywhere.
Well, Rob, we got to turn this into a story for the game, man.
Selling bathwater. Gross.
Yep. She's just some cute little Instagram girl selling bathwater to lonely boys.
Wonderful.
She does say on the listing that it's not for drinking.
There's got to be some law against that, though, right? I mean, if it's
shipping water, I mean,
I just typed in selling bathwater. Belle Dauphine responds to claims that her bathwater caused herpes. Of course.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's pictures of her like with presumably cold sores on her lips. And so that was part of the memes going around with her bathwater sales. Just awful. There's also another thing on Taco Zone that you guys should check out, but it's the chart.
Nobody has been hospitalized from my bathwater or have gotten sick. I don't know. All of these memes were posted before I even shipped any out regarding the whole herpes thing. Yes, I used to get blisters when there's a change in the weather. Weather-related herpes, that's not a thing. I guess that'd be a heat rash, a cold sore. I don't know. I've gotten them occasionally since I was a child. I haven't 1 year into, and no, you cannot get it. It's not an STD. Lols.
I'd like to think that the internet is different in the era of Instagram, but I have to think that in the late 90s, we were doing all of the same crap. Just at a
No. We never sold bathwater. Use the word "we" very carefully. The royal "we" for us does not include everyone on the internet.
There's a brief stint where we did sell tears, but not bathwater.
Right, and those were mostly from people we just didn't like, and we would punch.
Yeah,
Okay, I wasn't part of that sale. Just for the record, it was probably the saline. Anyway,
and then you get the herpes from the saline.
You don't get herpes from pristine, clean saline. Anyway, so let's continue and talk about NASA instead of this very important bathwater sales drama.
Right. So Taco Zone today has like 4 NASA-ish related stories. One is that NASA is actually going to be opening one of their last samples of unsullied moon rock. And the article was actually really interesting because they had like a lot of numbers, like 800 pounds of rocks, and like there's actually 6 unopened samples that were sealed in vacuum tight containers on the moon. So they are totally pristine. There's a lot of interesting information about that in that article. It's definitely worth a read.
Well, the thing that I thought was really funny is that they put them inside an old In-N-Out burger container. And I was like, that doesn't seem airtight to me. And it's got the grease from the burger on it still. But hey, if NASA's going to NASA, who am I to question? You know?
Maybe something about the interaction between, what is it, the helium-3?
There's not that much helium. Going to the moon to get helium-3 is like, I don't know, going to Kathmandu to breathe air. It's like,
or going to In-N-Out Burger to get a burger.
Here. Well, no, I mean, there's one across the street. What I'm trying to say is going to all this trouble for helium-3 when it's literally present in ocean water in fine concentrations if we really cared to get it. It's like, I think space is cool. We went to the moon. That was bitchin'. I even met Buzz Aldrin once, and he had my cell phone number, and he called me once, and I was like, oh my God, Buzz Aldrin. But come on, helium-3. It's not the reason to go.
So speaking of Buzz Aldrin, man, there's a good story on the list today about moon conspiracy theories.
So you know how Buzz punched that guy?
Yeah.
We got to link to that guy. No. But I talked to his daughter, who's the woman in the video, who's like, what's going on? And so Buzz Aldrin's daughter is there, and this guy's like, you have no honor, you have no honor. And he's like, okay, pop. And she's like, yeah, it was kind of dramatic, but you know, it's my dad, so he didn't get in trouble.
Right. He's kind of got he's got whatever the get out of jail free card forever.
Yeah, I mean, he's Teflon, man. That guy's kind of great.
And he is a little loony.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little wacky sometimes, but
he's our wacky. The moon's there's a good link up there on the Taco Zone today with the moon landing conspiracies, and I mean it's a good summary of the whole thing. There's the Kubrick connections and the fact that this kind of rose up in the middle of the 70s, like against Watergate and everything, where people as a nation were kind of thinking government was garbage. Although the thing that I kind of was, I guess I had never really thought about was that I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
You were probably going to talk about O.J. Simpson's starring role in Capricorn 1, which was about a moon landing hoax in the middle of the Arizona desert. And actually, it's kind of a great movie. I mean, just
what's it called?
Capricorn
1. Yeah.
All right. I'll get it.
It's kind of a great movie, but it's so like when we were innocent and we could talk about these things as if they were complete crap, you know. But yeah. Totally worth watching and just saying, "Wow, that's O.J. Simpson" the whole time. That's all you're going to think the whole time.
Yeah,
it
is amazing to me how many people believe that we never landed on the moon. In fact, I know someone, you do too, I won't say who they are, but was actually swayed by the special that they had on, I think it was Fox, about how
seriously
did we land on the moon? Yes.
It's Nate, isn't it?
I can't confirm or deny that Nate.
You'll have to tell me after we hang up the magical video.
I'll tell you.
I have to tell you.
I have a good theory.
I think I know who it is.
So, well, I mean, I know a flat earther too. So, and that was actually the thing that
They don't really, I can't believe they actually
the thing
exist.
that I wanted to get out. I'm wondering if, so I feel like a moon hoaxer, like maybe they have, like maybe you can believe that and not be insane, but I don't see how you can be a flat earther. And like these are different, but
they're like different levels. Yeah.
It's
like
there's just some people that if they see something on TV or they see that someone, put more than a half an hour into writing something about it, they're like, holy shit, that must be true. And I think for a lot, this is sort of a tangent, but the whole conspiracy that Elvis really didn't die, right? So they had a television show about that, famously hosted by Bill Bixby, right?
Yeah.
Well, my wife was like 7 or 8 when that show came on, and she was convinced that her dad was Elvis. So much so she wouldn't come downstairs for a while, and eventually her mom had a talk with her and was like, what if he is Elvis? What is he going to do to you? But she was a little kid, saw it on TV and thought, holy shit,
my dad's Elvis.
My dad's Elvis. Up is down, left is right. Who knows what's up?
So my question is this: was the TV show like your dad is Elvis?
No, it was just
Why'd you put it together?
Who the heck knows? It's great fun to bring it up at any family gathering, though, because it is so funny. She was absolutely convinced her dad was Elvis.
See, I have the same joy bringing up things at my family reunion. Unfortunately, my things that I bring up at my family reunion usually involve the things like about Christianity that I think are silly. So
yeah,
that's not such
I would
a good
just like
response.
to return to the Capricorn 1 topic for a moment. It turns out it was actually linked in the article, and I went to the IMDb page. The people in this movie are incredible. You got Elliot Gould, you got James Brolin, you got Brenda Vaccaro, Sam Waterston, the guy from Law and Order, Hal Holbrook, Mark Twain himself, Karen Black, Telly Savalas. I mean, everybody is in this movie. I'm
in, man. I'll watch it as soon as I can figure out where
1977.
To get it.
It's on Prime Video. Boom.
Even better. Perfect. It's a lot better than trying to pirate a movie.
Would you be shocked to find out that the greatest moment of our recent history may not have happened at all? Capricorn 1.
Dun, dun, dun. No, I'm in, man. I love me a good conspiracy theory, and I enjoy them tremendously. However, no, I feel like the flat earthers are like a brain damage. And
I think giving them attention actually is like when people try to take advantage of the mentally deranged or like the Alzheimer's patients and steal money from them. I think you don't give them attention. Let them just, deal with their mental issues, get some help, but don't put them on TV. Don't, surround them in Velcro and throw them against a wall. It's not okay.
But I mean, at that point, don't you feel the same thing about QAnon and Pizzagate? I mean,
absolutely. These people do not. The more attention you give them, the worse they will get, and the worse it'll be for society. And then we should best shut off the internet. But okay, so we've gotten to the logical extent of that. Shutting off the internet is what we do.
It's gone too far already. This internet thing, man, it's a fad.
This internet thing's a fad. As we communicate over the internet, broadcast to the internet, talking about the internet. Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about the Smithsonian. Yeah.
The internet is preparing a raid on Area 51.
This is one of those things that sounds like a cute idea, but
until everyone is shot.
Everyone is shot in the forehead.
Yeah.
Get away from the gate. Get away from the... And then they touch the gate.
Well, they, in that story, they specifically say, well, there's so many of us, they can't possibly stop all of us. And I think, well, I don't think you understand automatic weapons.
Right.
Or radiation.
Yeah.
It's like right next to Area 51 are all the craters from the nuclear tests. And I'm like, they're a little radioactive.
Right. I wouldn't want to just hang out there in general.
Don't hang out there. That's not a hangout zone. That's a sacrifice zone. That's what we call Nevada, Well,
they all watched Chernobyl. They know they got probably 2 years of slow death before that catches up to them. That'll be worth it. Especially if they get a laser gun,
Or like a gray skull.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like what's left of them? But yeah, all right.
I mean, they're not going to all die, man. You can't radioactive everyone.
One of them's going to become Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Flat Earth believing, moon hoax Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
Mr. Stark. Hey, Mr. Stark. That stuff's all bullshit, right? Hey, Mr. Stark.
they're out in the desert, so it'll be like kangaroo rat man. That's what they'll be,
or
cactus
Mustang
man.
horseman.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They have wild horses still. But yeah.
I had one more really cool NASA-related story on the list today, which is the NASA art program.
Okay.
Which is actually really pretty sweet if you look at it. They actively recruited artists and brought them into Kennedy Space Center at the height of NASA and got them to paint paintings of weird stuff. And there's a few examples of the work that they did. And it's actually neat and worth seeing, and I'm going to follow up on that because I want to find more work by these folks. Because, obviously they had photographers, but I didn't know they had painters.
So I'm trying to find the original. So there's this man in a spacesuit on fire crossing a street. And I have the picture. I just don't know who made it.
That sounds like the start of a joke, and now you need a punchline.
No. Yeah. Anyway, it was by Jack Crossing. There you go, Jack Crossing, and I'll put a link to an image or copy. Yeah, here I'll paste it in. What we should start doing, honestly, during these broadcasts is, putting up these things, presenting them.
That sounds like technology that we don't necessarily.
Nah, it's not that hard. Here, I'll do it in a second. But yeah.
Oh, you'll do it with the Google Presenter slide mode.
You just hit a button, present now. Actually, let me open image in new tab.
We don't need to tech support live, dude. There's another good one on the list that you should look up too. It's the Yobo Maka Anos. It's you're presenting. Yeah. Oh yeah.
See,
that's a fine picture.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
All right.
So you can see Obama, Thanos, Yoda, and Keanu, and their overlapping circles and all of their different morphed combinations. It's worth a laugh, if only to see things like Yobama, the half Yoda, half Obama, and Obamos, half Thanos, half Obama. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I'm not sure how I feel about Keanos.
Canobama.
If you were in the right state of mind, per se, you could maybe look at that for a few hours. And
you could enjoy that all night.
Yeah.
Hey, are you guys on Stranger Things yet?
No, I never. My daughter actually really liked seasons 1 and 2. How's season 3? I heard it's a little iffy.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little pandery. And that's saying something because the first couple seasons seemed pretty pandery.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Ready Player One of 80s movies.
I thought exactly the same thing. I felt like seasons 1 and 2 were flirting the line, but I felt like season 3 is like we are full in Ready Player One level pandering to your 80s nostalgia. In the episode that I just watched, there literally is a scene where a crowd of people in a movie theater watch the last 10 seconds of Back to the Future where the DeLorean flies through the sky. They cheer and then exit the theater. Like, there's literally no reason from a story perspective that scene needs to be there, except to show you 10 seconds of Back to the Future.
So are there a lot of parachute pants in this season? And
the fashion is on point.
Neon shoelaces,
asymmetrical ponytails,
lots of high-waisted pants. Yeah.
Well, those are coming back, man.
No, they are coming back.
My belt's right here, actually.
Your nipple coating belt.
And then I wore an onion on my belt because it was the style at the time. And
that's right. All right, Grandpa.
That's a Simpsons quote.
For all those kids out there who don't know who the Simpsons are.
Simpsons have been around for a long time, but I think that it's finally fading from the youths, Yeah,
my kids know what it is.
Yeah.
But they have no notion of why.
Yeah, I mean, they know a hell of a lot more about YouTube than they do about.
Well, as fine as that show was and is, I can't tell you the last time I watched an episode of The Simpsons. Just isn't.
7 or 8.
I have seen every single episode of that show, and I tell you that there's really no reason to watch anything after like season 6.
Yeah.
That said, I think it's time for us to call it, gentlemen.
No, wait. We forgot something.
Oh no, we got the. You wanted to talk about the telescope, the heritage sites.
Yeah. So heritage sites can be bad. That's all.
That's it. Chris just wants you to know that.
All right.
I'll drop a link in the description below. Or yeah, it's the unintended consequences of UNESCO World Heritage Listing. I could read the article to you, but But basically,
let's put it up on the Taco Zone.
To sum up, the problem is the same as the problem with the Himalayas. Is that?
Oh yeah.
That it makes people right. It makes people think something's cool. It becomes a heritage site because it's it needs to be preserved and acknowledged. But if you make it cool, thousands of people will be there, and a bunch of them will be shitty. They'll ruin it.
Yeah,
and it's true.
Terrible.
It's
There's a picture in the article, and it's a guy crossing an alley sort of street in Panama, and I'm like, is the UNESCO World Heritage Site this guy? I mean, because can he never move from that position or get pants that fit?
I mean, that would be a good gig in a lot of ways, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
No, I'd get bored really fast to stand.
You'd have to be really happy about where you were.
I mean, if you were directing traffic, maybe it'd be a better life. But
whoa. Well, that was triggered because didn't they make one of the telescopes or one of the radio telescopes in Britain that just got classified as a UNESCO heritage site?
Yeah, the Jodrell satellite, or not satellite, but telescope.
Now that's one that they used to track during the Apollo
looks like
project,
a satellite,
right?
Yeah, they used it to track all kinds of stuff, really.
There were 3 major ones. There was one here, one in Britain, and one in Australia, right?
They used it to track the Russians when they were putting up satellites at the beginning to try to figure out how close they were to getting a man into space.
All right.
It was part of a project scanning for alien life and a whole bunch of stuff way back in the day.
It's weird to think that there was an era where our best technology was using gigantic radios to listen for things.
Yeah.
Like, this is our spy tech.
Well, yeah, but also radio astronomy is kind of kick-ass, man. I hate to prove that the Earth is going around the sun and stuff, and the sun is...
Well, we know the Earth is flat, so I don't know what around you're referring to.
Yeah. I'm not going to give those people any more time.
All right, man. I don't think we're going to give anybody any more time because we've been on the horn now for half hour, and it's time to go about our days.
That's true.
All right, folks.
All right.
I'm going to throw up the slide that says to both of our streamers that we're going to go away soon. And I am going to say goodbye to you, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
See you,
See you later.
See you, Rob and Chris. This is episode 361 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda. Please log into our Discord or subscribe to Taco Zone or hit a like button or do whatever obligatory things that you need to do in a modern social media context.
But do not send us bathwater.
Yeah, no.
We don't want it. We don't want it.
Actually, you can. Our address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
No, dude, you're going to get us in trouble. This is serious business.
You think he's not buying people's bathwater?
All right, push the button, Frank.